The night sky above Vega Ix was clear. Stars shimmered like dust across the darkness. People in the colony moved peacefully through their daily routines. Children played under the glow of artificial moons. Traders packed crates into cargo ships. Scientists ran tests in quiet labs. No one saw the danger coming. Captain Ilara Miles stood on the bridge of the TDF Aegis, her eyes scanning the screens. She had just finished a supply check when the first alert sounded. Red lights blinked. Sirens screamed. "Unidentified ships entering orbit," said Ensign Kato, his voice tense. "They're not responding to hails." Ilara stepped forward. "Show me." On the main display, black ships appeared, sleek, angular, and silent. They floated above the colony like shadows. Then they opened fire. Bright beams of plasma rained down. Explosions lit up the colony. Towers crumbled. Fire spread. People screamed. Chaos broke the calm. "Shields up," Ilara ordered. "Evac routes open. Get as many civilians as you can aboard nearby ships." The Aegis turned sharply, heading for the surface. Through the windows, Ilara could see it, the home she had sworn to protect, burning. Vega Ix was her birthplace. Her parents still lived there. Her brother worked in the mining outpost near the southern ridge. She gripped the railing. "Kato, can you reach the outpost?" He shook his head. "Comms are jammed. We're blind." Ilara's stomach twisted. There was no time to save everyone. The enemy wasn't just attacking. They were wiping the colony out. "We need to go, Captain," said Lieutenant Rhea, her second in command. "If we stay, we're next." Ilara nodded slowly. Her heart broke, but her duty was clear. "Pull back. We can't fight them like this." We regroup and respond. The Aegis lifted, dodging a barrage of enemy fire. Several civilian ships followed, some damaged, some barely holding together. One transport exploded midair. Ilara flinched. Once they were out of range, the Aegis jumped to warp speed. Silence fell on the bridge. The crew was quiet, their faces pale. After a moment, Kaito whispered, "Who were they?" Ilara looked at the stars ahead. "Zythek," she said. "It has to be. No other species has ships like that." "Why now?" Rhea asked. "We've had peace for decades." Ilara didn't answer right away. Her mind was still on the fire, on her home. She took a deep breath. "I don't know," she said, "but we're going to find out." A message came from Terra Prime. "Return immediately. You are to leave a counterforce." Ilara stared at the message, then at the wreckage on the screen behind her. "This isn't just war," she said softly. "This is something bigger." She turned to her crew. "We lost Vega Ix, but we'll make sure it doesn't happen again." The stars ahead were dark and cold. The TDF Aegis cut through space like a silent arrow. Behind it, the ashes of Vega Ix drifted in darkness. Ahead, the Orion sector stretched wide, half lit by distant stars, half swallowed by shadow. Captain Ilara Miles stood on the bridge, hands behind her back. Her eyes didn't leave the screen as they passed the wreckage of colony stations, metal torn apart, floating bodies, ships broken, and still, the Zythek hadn't just attacked. They had erased entire communities. Her crew was quiet. No one spoke unless needed. The pain of Vega Ix still hung heavy in their hearts. "We're tracking Zythek warships near the edge of the draconic expanse," said Ensign Kato. "Coordinates locked. Orders." Ilara turned. "Take us in. Full scan range. Let's see what they're doing." "The expanse, ma'am." Rhea raised an eyebrow. "That region's marked restricted in every fleet archive." "I know," Ilara replied, "but the Zythek went there. And if they're not afraid of what's in it, we need to know why." They moved closer. The expanse was a strange part of space. The stars looked older here, dimmer. There were no colonies, no outposts, just warnings, old, half-broken satellites repeating the same message in many languages. Do not disturb the sleepers. What sleepers? Kaido asked, reading the transmission. This looks ancient. Hundreds of years old. Maybe more, said Rhea, predating the first warp drive. I want full scans. Check for ships, structures, anything, Ilara ordered. Be ready for anything. Hours passed. The ship glided through quiet space. Then, something changed. Captain, Kaido said, eyes wide, picking up a strange energy signature. Not Scythic. Not human. It's massive. Before Ilara could answer, the ship shook. An alarm blared. Unidentified object approaching at high speed. Rhea shouted. Shields up. They'd barely had time. From the darkness, it emerged. A creature as large as a battleship. Its body shimmered with black metal and glowing lines. Wings spread wide like solar sails. Eyes burned with cold fire. It wasn't a ship. It was alive. Is that a dragon? Kaido whispered. The creature opened its mouth. A pulse of energy shot forward, striking a nearby moon. The rock shattered in a flash of light. It's targeting anything that moves, Rhea said, stunned. Ilara to fleet. Pull back now. Do not engage. But not everyone listened. A Scythic scout ship fired. A mistake. The dragon turned. In one swift move, it slammed into the Scythic ship. Metal screamed. The ship split in two. Get us out of here, Ilara shouted. The Aegis reversed course, engines roaring. The dragon didn't follow. It hovered for a moment, then vanished into the expanse. Silence returned. No one spoke for a long time. Ilara broke it. Download everything we saw. I want analysis reports. Biological scans. Anything we can use. Captain, Rhea said quietly. What was that? Ilara looked back at the screen, where only stars remained. I don't know, she said, but I think we just woke something up. The TDF Aegis floated just outside the draconic expanse. The ship was quiet. Every crew member was focused, tense. No one forgot what they saw. The massive living dragon tearing through metal like paper, vanishing like a ghost. Captain Ilara Miles sat in the command room, reviewing the footage again. Frame by frame. The wings. The glowing eyes. The armor that looked like it had grown, not been built. It's not a ship, she said out loud. It's something else. Alive. But not just biological. Rhea stood nearby, half machine, half creature. A hybrid. Something ancient. Something powerful, Ilara added. Kaido entered, holding a datapad. Captain, we found something in the archives. It's buried deep in pre-expansion records. Military logs, classified stuff. Ilara took the pad and read quickly. Her eyes narrowed. Project Draconis. Year, 2126. Purpose, last resort defense weapons. Biomechanical guardians. Self-aware, not controllable. Ordered into hibernation after the Orion War. Location, redacted. They created them during Earth's darkest wars, she whispered. Built to destroy. But they lost control. So they locked them away out here. And now, the Scythic woke them up, Rhea said. Great. The captain stood. We need to know how many are out there, and if there's a way to talk to them. Talk to them, Kaido asked. Captain, one of them just destroyed a moon. They didn't chase us, she said calmly. They only responded when attacked. That means they think. They choose. Kaido frowned. Or they're just hunting slower targets first. Ilara shook her head. I felt something in that moment. When it looked at us, it wasn't rage. It was judgment. A signal beeped. Incoming transmission, said Rhea. Encrypted from command. Ilara opened it. A familiar face appeared. Admiral Tolan. You were right, he said. We intercepted Scythic comms. They've entered the expanse in force. They're trying to find and control these creatures. They think they're weapons. Ilara's expression hardened. They'll get more than they bargained for. Your orders are to monitor and report. Do not engage. But if you see a way to stop this before it spreads, use your judgment. The message ended. Rhea sighed. So we sit and watch a war we can't stop. No, Ilara said. We go deeper. We find one of them again. We try to make contact. Kato stared. You want to talk to a dragon the size of a city. I want to stop a war that could destroy everyone, human, Zithic, or otherwise. The Aegis changed course. They headed back into the expanse, deeper than before. The stars grew dimmer. Strange shapes floated in the distance, abandoned structures, ruined ships, glowing stones. The air, even inside the ship, felt heavier. Then they found it. A massive black ring, floating in space. Inside the ring, a swirling sphere of light. Like a heartbeat, it pulsed. What is that? Rhea whispered. A gate, Ilara said, or a tomb. As they approached, the sphere split open. Another dragon emerged. It was different. Slower. Its body was marked with ancient symbols. It did not attack. It simply stared at them, unmoving. Ilara stepped closer to the front screen. She placed her hand on the glass. Who are you? She asked softly. The creature's eyes glowed brighter. The ship's systems flickered. Then a voice, not through speakers, but inside every mind on board, spoke one word. Why? Everyone froze. Kato's mouth opened, but no sound came. Ilara took a breath. We didn't mean to wake you, but someone else did, and they're going to bring more. A long silence. Then the voice returned. Then they will burn. The light faded. The dragon disappeared into the shadows. Ilara turned to her crew. They're not just weapons, she said. They're judges, and the trial has begun. The TDF Aegis drifted in the silence of the draconic expanse. No one spoke. The echo of the dragon's voice. Then they will burn still lingered in their minds. Captain Ilara Miles stood alone in the observation deck, staring into the vast darkness. Her thoughts were heavy. These dragons weren't simple creatures. They were ancient, aware, and ready to destroy anything they saw as a threat. They don't want to be controlled, she whispered. They want to be left alone. But the Zithic won't stop. Ilara turned and walked quickly to the research lab. Kaito and Rhea were already there, studying the energy readings from the last encounter. There's a pattern in the way they speak, Kaito said. Not random. It's structured, like language. Can we respond? Ilara asked. Rhea shrugged. Not with words, but maybe with thoughts. They linked with us through some kind of neural wave. If we build a simple neural interface. I'll do it, Ilara said. Kaito looked up, surprised. Captain, that's dangerous. We don't know how it will affect you. They need to hear our side. Someone has to try. Hours later, Ilara sat in the medbay. A small band rested against her forehead, connected to the ship's systems. Lights flickered around her. We've locked on to the last dragon signal, Rhea said from the console. Ready when you are. Do it, Ilara said. The world around her vanished. Darkness. Silence. Then, a flicker of light. A shape formed. A massive dragon, floating in a void. Its wings were folded. Its eyes opened. You again, the voice said, deep and slow, inside her mind. I'm not here to fight. Ilara thought. I want to understand. The dragon's body glowed faintly. You wake the storm. Then ask for calm. We didn't wake you. The Scythic did. They're trying to use you. Control you. And you would stop them. Yes, if I can. The dragon studied her. Time seemed to stretch. Then it spoke again. I am Cathar. I was born from war. I watched stars fall and planets break. I slept to forget. Now I wake to burn. But not all deserve to burn, Ilara said. There are innocents, colonies, children. Cawthor's wings shifted. You speak with truth, but one voice is not enough. Then watch us, she said. See what we do next. A pause. Then the light faded. Ilara opened her eyes, gasping. She's back, Rhea said, rushing to her side. Ilara sat up slowly. His name is Cawthor. He's not just a weapon. He's a guardian. And he's listening. Before anyone could respond, alarms rang. Captain, Cato shouted from the bridge. Zithik fleet just entered the expanse. Hundreds of ships. They're heading straight toward the heart of the region. Do they know about Cawthor? Ilara asked. Maybe. Maybe not. But they're not being careful. Ilara stood, steady now. Then we have to stop them, before the dragons wake all the way, and wipe everything out. The ship moved. Toward the danger. Toward the choice. The TDF Aegis raced through the stars, engines burning hot. On the bridge, Captain Ilara Miles stood tall, her face calm but focused. Status on the Zithik fleet? She asked. 2 minutes out, said Ensign Cato. They're heading straight for the core of the expanse. No signs of slowing down. They think they can take the dragons, Rhea added. Or worse, they think they can use them. Ilara's jaw tightened. They're going to trigger something they can't stop. The stars around them began to change. They dimmed, shifted, twisted. The Aegis crossed into the heart of the draconic expanse. Ahead, in the black void, the Zithik fleet appeared. Rows of sharp, armored ships glowing with blue light. They launched drones and charged their weapons. But something else appeared too. Dragons. Dozens of them. Rising from ancient rings, bursting from hollow moons, and crawling out of cracked asteroids. Massive, silent, and glowing with power. Each one unique. Some had wings of flame. Others shimmered with crystal armor. All of them angry. On the Aegis's screen, the largest dragon hovered in front of them. Cawthor. Ilara closed her eyes for a moment, then opened a direct channel. This is Captain Ilara Miles of the Terran Defense Force, she said, her voice steady. We are not your enemies. We came to warn you. The Zithik have invaded your space. They want to control you. We don't. Cawthor didn't move. Then the voice entered her mind again. I have watched. I believe you. But belief is not enough. Now comes the test. Suddenly, the Zithik opened fire. Blue plasma streaked through the dark, striking one of the smaller dragons. It roared in pain and dove into battle. Then chaos began. Dragons and ships clashed in a storm of fire and energy. The sky lit up with explosions. Some dragons unleashed sonic waves that shattered ships. Others sliced through fleets with tails made of metal and flame. The Aegis dodged incoming fire. Ilara gave quick, clear commands. Shield the survivors. Pull damaged ships out of the fight. Do not fire on the dragons unless attacked. We're surrounded, Rhea called. Zithik ships everywhere. Focus on defense. Ilara shouted. Let the dragons deal with them. But one Zithik warship turned toward the Aegis. It locked on with missiles. Ilara knew the ship wouldn't survive a direct hit. Brace for impact. Cato yelled. The missile flew. Then Cawthor appeared. With a roar, the dragon soared between the Aegis and the missile. It hit him square in the chest. Smoke and fire exploded around him. No, Ilara gasped. But when the smoke cleared, Cawthor was still there, burned, glowing, furious. You would attack those who speak peace. His voice thundered in every mind nearby. He turned his fire on the Zithik flagship. It didn't last long. Cawthor's beams split the ship in half. The rest of the Zithik fleet, seeing the power they had awakened, turned to flee. But the dragons gave no chase. They simply watched them go. The battlefield fell silent. Wreckage floated everywhere. Fires died out. Stars blinked quietly in the distance. Ilara stared at the screen. Is it over? Cawthor's voice answered one last time. For now. Then he vanished into the shadows of space, and the other dragons followed. Rhea let out a slow breath. They listened to you, Captain. No, Ilara said softly. They listened to us. To the choice we made not to fight them. Behind the Aegis, the expanse grew quiet once more. But something had changed. The galaxy would never be the same again. The battle was over. Space was quiet again, but not peaceful. Wreckage drifted through the black. Pieces of ships, human and Zithic, floated like broken bones. Fire no longer flashed, but the memory of war still hung heavy in the air. On the bridge of the TDF Aegis, Captain Ilara Miles sat in silence. She watched the stars, her face tired but calm. Crew members moved quietly around her. No one cheered. No one smiled. They had survived, but survival didn't feel like victory. Final damage reports coming in, said Rhea. We lost 6 human ships. The Zythic lost more than 20. And the dragons? Ilara asked. Cato answered. All gone. Vanished back into the expanse. We tried tracking them. No luck. They came like a storm, Rhea added, and left just as fast. Ilara stood and walked to the front window. She stared at the dark corner of space where Cawthor had disappeared. He had spoken to her, trusted her, stopped the destruction because of her words. Now comes the test. He had said that. And they had passed. Open a channel to Terra Prime, Ilara said. A few seconds later, Admiral Tolan's face appeared. He looked older now, wearier. Ilara, he said, we received your full report. We've confirmed the Zithic are retreating, pulling their forces back to their own sector. Good, Ilara replied. You did more than fight, Tolan said. You made contact with something ancient, something we feared, and you convinced it not to destroy us. It wasn't just me, Ilara said. It was everyone who chose not to fire, everyone who stepped back when it mattered. Tolan nodded. Still, you've earned your rest. You'll return to Terra for debriefing. And if you want it, command of a new fleet. Ilara shook her head. No, I'm done. Tolan looked surprised. You're stepping down. She nodded. I was a soldier when this started. Now I just want to live. Somewhere quiet. No war. No battles. Just peace. Tolan smiled faintly. You've earned it. The message ended. A few days later, the Aegis and its escort ships helped build a memorial station at the edge of the draconic expanse, a floating ring lit by quiet blue lights. It held no weapons, just words. Carved into metal in dozens of languages, it read, Respect what sleeps. Remember what woke. Ilara stood alone in front of it, wearing simple clothes, no uniform. She placed her hand on the cold steel. The stars around her were calm again. Behind her, a small ship waited. It would take her to a quiet moon, far from the core systems. Rhea stepped beside her. Sure you want to disappear? Ilara nodded. I've done what I needed to do. And if the dragons come back, they'll come for the right reasons, she said, or not at all. Cawthor's voice returned in her memory. Not angry, not loud. You speak with truth. She smiled softly. The galaxy would remember this war, not for the battles, but for the choice to listen.